Besides tobacco and cafecito, which I've already shown you all how to make, the Cuba Libre, better known as a rum and coke, might be one of the most recognizable exports that Cuban culture has made to the world. It's a cocktail that's easy to make and easy to drink, which is probably why it's become so popular since its inception in the early 1900s. While I've been known to crush a dangerous amount of these at weddings, the reason for which I missed that flight back from Baltimore, I have one simple tweak to the recipe that's an absolute game changer. Stay tuned and stay thirsty, my friends. No sense in burying the lead here. My secret is to use Ironbeer instead of Coca-Cola. Ironbeer is a non-alcoholic Cuban soda. It's most similar to Dr. Pepper, but slightly fruitier, like me in my pastel colors. It can easily be found online or in any area with a significant Hispanic population. I actually found a 6-pack at my local Asian market, since there are a good portion of Hispanic shoppers there as well. Keep your eyes peeled in any place with a decent selection of ethnic goods, because your own local bodega cat probably has some in stock. The Cuba Libre is a pretty standard highball cocktail, so I'm going to add a shot of white rum to a chilled glass with plenty of ice. We'll top it off with some of that Ironbeer and garnish with a lime wheel. And that's the cocktail. So, roll credits, I guess. Wait. Something as simple as that doesn't deserve its own video. Seriously though, while this cocktail is deliciously acceptable as is, we're gonna make a slightly more complex version that belongs to the Fizz cocktail family. These classic cocktails are just as old, with slightly different ratios and preparation. Ours will be a silver fizz, meaning it incorporates an egg white to introduce some foam over the top that will make it resemble a root beer float. We'll start with 1.5 ounces of white rum, as before. I'm using Bacardi, mostly because I had a small bottle on hand already. While not my favorite, it pairs well with the theme of this drink, considering the Bacardi family's Cuban roots. It isn't made with Cuban sugarcane anymore though, since international relations as it stands are tense at best. I'm cutting a wheel off this lime and reserving it for garnish, but I'm also giving a quick squeeze to the smaller half and adding it to our shaker as well. This will come out to a little less than 1/2 ounce, depending on how much you've pleased or angered the citrus gods. We're also adding a few shakes of Angostura bitters, which will balance the cocktail. Ironbeer is a bit sweeter than Coca-Cola, and as such, I like to adjust accordingly. I'm separating an egg white carefully and adding to my mixture before giving it a vigorous shake. This is a dry shake, which means we're shaking without ice. The dry shake mixes our ingredients well, while aerating the egg white and creating the foam that you'll see on top of our finished product. Shake this a bit longer than you normally would, around 30 seconds or so. With the egg white now frothingly foamy, it's time for our wet shake. Add a few cubes of ice and shake again until cold. Strain into a chilled highball glass, assuming you can crack the seal on your shaker without any collateral damage, and top carefully with Ironbeer. No matter how carefully I float this though, as you can see, mine regrettably looks like a bad pour of Guinness. That's because I used a jumbo egg, as I learned from my fellow New Jersey compatriot, Greg, from How to Drink in his whiskey sour video. More egg white means more foam. So maybe that makes me a bad bartender, but when I'm cooking, I want the biggest yolk money can buy. Size definitely matters. So while I want that jumbo over the butter rice I made previously, you're probably better off with a large egg for this cocktail, unless you want a heady glass like mine. Garnish with your lime wheel and maybe a few more drops of Angostura on top of the foam to say you gave some thought to artful presentation. Clink glasses, throw in a chant of PATRIA y VIDA for Cuban authenticity, and enjoy! I may not have a luscious mustache like my Cuban ancestors for this foam to get stuck in, but I can enjoy it on a hot summer day all the same. Much like its inspiration, this low ABV cocktail is refreshing and easy to drink. As a soda that was first popularized in Havana, Ironbeer just feels like the right substitution for the traditional Cuba Libre. It's a little more nuanced than Coke, and whether it's made as a fizz or a highball, this is the preferred version for me. So from my bodega to your home, cheers! And please consider hitting that subscribe button on your way out.